All right, welcome back everyone to ChampCar.live, broadcasting for the Road America race, the Frozen Rotors Winter Classic for the Champ Car Endurance Series. We've got a report that there was another fire, and they're working to take care of that. Black flag for car 444 for passing under yellow is the word. Look at the front straightaway there. You can see, boy, the skies are beautiful. Big contrast from yesterday.
Yeah, totally opposite.
Where we started out with a lot of rain, and which moved to snow and then to sleet. It was just awful, and it really was relentless to the end of the day, just the last hour or so when things seemed to let up and the track began to dry. And some of these cars that really enjoy that dry weather racing began to shine again. But it was such a challenging day yesterday on this very fast racetrack in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, to navigate in those very tricky conditions. And it bit a lot of the teams and even some of our top teams. But looking at the timing and scoring right now, according to Race Hero, which you can find at racehero.io on the web, Rusty Nuts is in the lead of this race with Ludicrous Speed in second, Cone Crushers in third, Looney Tunes down to fourth. Of course, things get shaken up after these pit stops take place. Crank Yankers Racing, who had a tough day yesterday, come across the start-finish line in fifth right now. Bavarian Mustache Works in sixth. Clueless Racing in seventh. Third Gear Pulls in eighth. Crash Management in ninth. And JSK Racing, a team that won yesterday, look at that. They're in the top 10.
Yep, they worked their way back up, got that lap back.
So congratulations to those guys as they're working their way back up through the field. Their fastest lap time, a stout 2:48. So far, the fastest lap time of the day turned by Ludicrous Speed in that Toyota MR2 with that 2:45.5.
And nothing against Rusty Nuts, but I don't expect them to hold this lead very much longer. Ludicrous is showing fantastic speed.
Yeah, that's going to be really, really tough to catch up with there.
Yeah, it's only 11 seconds, so yeah, that's not going to last long.
No. Not if the laps Ludicrous can reel off.
That team is really living up to their name today, huh?
Yeah.
On board with Ludicrous, I almost said Ludicrous Speed. No, this is Looney Tunes in their Ford Mustang. They were leading the race earlier today, got chased down by Ludicrous Speed. Got passed around that earlier today, and then around 9:30, Team Milan broke an axle trying to get away from pit. They'd come into the pits and picked up their clock. They were trying to leave the starter, not the starter, but the pit in point with the clock, and broke an axle at that point. We also went yellow and then eventually black to red just because there was so much oil on the racetrack and so many cars disabled. They couldn't pick them all up and service the track. It was just necessary to red flag the field so they could get the track serviced. We were down for about 15 minutes in the pits, and they got the cars back out. And we just got a report a little bit ago. There was a car with a fire. I guess they got that taken care of. Car 90 in turn 11 passing under yellow.
That's the Tuner No Crust car?
They're being black flagged now for that.
No, Dire Straits Racing.
That infraction. Looks like they passed the emergency vehicle truck. They may have buzzed the truck.
I thought you could do and then pass the car.
No, after they passed the EV truck, then they passed a car under yellow when they shouldn't.
Yeah,
okay.
you can generally pass an EV truck. You just give them a wide margin.
Yeah, the corner worker didn't see it, but the EV driver did and passed it on.
Oh, wow. Eyes are always watching.
Eyes are everywhere at this track, and if you saw the big TV screens we have here, you would know there's even more eyes, and these eyes actually record things.
Ah.
Yeah, they're memory refreshers, as they call it.
I wish mine would do that.
Right.
That's like an add-on app that I don't have.
Yeah.
My mind
The
doesn't
upgraded
refresh.
version.
Yeah, well, it could only be an upgrade.
I kind of hope one day that we can get ChampCar.live to have all these cameras at every corner like this, and then Polly could really be overwhelmed.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can follow cars around the track, and
if we did that, then you'd have somebody switching for you.
Probably
you would just be calling the shots. That's it. Camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, camera 4.
Be a big time director.
Yeah, we have a friend that does the Washington hockey team. He does their show from the trailer, and he does a live stream from that as you watch him do it, and it's interesting as heck to watch.
Oh, it's intense in there.
Yes.
I've been in a lot of the NFL trailers doing NFL games, and it's amazing to watch these directors. And those cameramen, they're never loafing, because you never know when they're going to go to you.
And they yell a lot, but it's a controlled yell. I could see Paulie doing that.
I could see Mike Chiswick doing that.
Yes.
A controlled yell.
Especially if you got to yell at Bill, right? So they announced the race and switch the cameras too? They're doing all that?
No, they have the announcers do that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's
like,
where we just promote everybody, and then they'd call a race, and then we would just be directing it.
It's extremely difficult to have a voice in your ear when you're an announcer, because they're feeding you information about which camera they're going to go to next, so you can follow the action. And after a while, it gets to be pretty automatic.
811 Mazda blowing smoke. 101 just pulled into pit lane.
101's pitted again.
That's a Loon Tunes.
Yeah.
Oh.
That can't be good.
No.
She didn't sound good.
Oh no, that doesn't sound good at all.
Maybe that issue from yesterday has come back, yeah. Or something.
He's trying to find a gear that engine's happy in, and he's not having much luck.
All right. The engine is not happy.
It is not.
No, and he's spit it all the way down at the end, too.
Oh, boy.
42 laps completed so far. Rusty Nuts racing up front. Ludacris in second. Showing back about a lap. It's actually not a lap. Looks like about 4 seconds. Cone Crushers in third. Crank Yankers Racing in fourth. Looney Tunes has dove into the pits, and it doesn't look good for those guys.
Cone Crushers isn't far behind there in third place. They're only 8.5 seconds down. Ludacris is 4.1 seconds down. Rusty Nuts, of course, is leading.
Car 147 in pit lane.
Oh.
That's the Asteri Motorsports.
Yeah, we haven't talked much about them. That's another Toyota MR2.
That's a 4-cylinder MR2. I like to say they've done a lot of work over that car since the last time they raced here. They have an aero package on it. They played around with the alignment, did a little bit of testing, and the car, they said, performed extremely well this past weekend yesterday in the rain and snow, unlike it had in the past. And I made some recommendations to them for some little tuning they can do, and hopefully they can go a little quicker around the corners. But they love the car; they're having fun with it.
Well, hopefully you gave them the right information.
Of course, I want to see.
You MR2 guys are tight like that.
Yes, we are.
Or give him all the ideas that you've thought about and see how it works out for him. See, that didn't work. Now I'm not gonna put that on my car then.
Yeah, that's what I do to Troy.
Bill would never do that.
No, I would. And
Bill
Troy
would do
knows
that
it.
in a heartbeat.
Why don't you just go flat out around that corner? I do. And he goes out there and does it. Oh man, you actually did that?
That was where? Charlotte, Bill?
Yeah, Charlotte.
He nearly killed his best friend. And
yeah. We tell him all kinds of stuff. He was really pissed after that. Yeah, I did it full throttle, man. I thought I was gonna die.
You boys.
Boys and their toys.
Yeah. Well, now we've switched everything around. Is my computer working right? Is Crank Anchors leading now?
No.
I don't show them leading. I show them in fourth.
Okay. My internet went down for a second. I thought I got it back up. Oh, now it just reset. Okay. I was like, what? What happened?
Yeah, mine did that earlier. It was like, what? That can't be right. It's like Jimmy's watching.
Hi, Jimmy.
Jimmy, I think, is down in the panhandle of Florida helping out with, I don't know if it's some friends or something, but he posted some pictures from down there, and it just looks awful.
Yeah, I think like Mexico Beach really took a hard hit.
Yeah, I have a friend of mine that's the director of tourism there. And needless to say, she's absolutely devastated. She works for the Chamber of Commerce.
Ooh, that's an anti-Chamber of Commerce event.
Yeah. The devastation's ridiculous down there.
That's a beautiful place in the country. I mean, just
yeah. Well, and that area gets hit so infrequently.
right.
It's kind of like Charleston, South Carolina. Very rarely gets a direct hit.
Got a message that car 216 is in the pits. That's the Just Don't Suck Racing.
Yeah, their driver spun at T5. We figured he might have come in just to check his seat, make sure it's still in good shape.
And for his teammates to tell him he sucks at racing.
The 3.7 was, one car was sliding sideways. Sliding. 37 Oh.
So yesterday we saw like, A class, C class, everything kind of mixed up. Today we see, all C class kind of dominating.
Yeah, we had our strongest A team. Milan pulled out. They're back behind the wall with problem. Third gear pulls had a good run yesterday in that A class car.
Yeah. They're in seventh, so top 10.
They were in seventh yesterday at the end of the race. JSK has moved up to ninth. Premium Dudes, 13th. They've been steadily moving up today.
Oh, that third gear pulls is a CRX. Go Honda.
Yeah.
Some Honda love.
They're the first car, it looks like, one lap down, and they're just barely a lap down. Ludicrous Speed and and their line third gear pulls changed almost exactly at the same time.
So this is Looney Tunes heading back out.
Taking over the lead from Rusty Nuts.
Yeah, Doc, if you couldn't hear me there for the engine noise, sorry about that. But Looney Tunes back out on the racetrack now.
Well, that's good to hear. They've dropped down to 14th place, unfortunately. Sounds like, I don't know, I couldn't really hear the engine all that great, but it sounds like it was something simple like a plug wire, something along those lines. The engine seemed to be running really rough.
For the 662, they're running in 5th place. Bavarian Mustache Works is getting a black flag. So that's going to take up the top 5 there.
A couple of teams that are having better races today. Cone Crushers in a much better position to strike, being in P3. Crank Yankers having a much better day in P4. And Premium Dudes in 12th. Maybe not up as high as we're used to seeing them, but hopefully they've been avoiding. I haven't seen any reports of them having to come in due to passing under yellow or any strange penalties. Looks like car 662 dive bombed the 37 car. There was contact. 662 being black flagged. Turn 5 is the location where the infraction took place. How dare you contact another car?
Right.
No, that's generally considered a bozo super no-no. And it pisses off your car that you hit.
Yeah.
And that's you're on your own as far as your contact out on track, but you'd like to think that's the motorcraft car that they hit. You'd like to think that the driver that was in that car will go down there and say, "Hey, man, I'm really sorry about that. I thought I had the room." And generally the guy won't take a swing at you then.
You come down humble, yeah.
Yeah. If you come down humble, there was a car hit us at Daytona, and I still haven't forgiven them because it was clearly their fault. They never manned up to it. So I kind of I'm ashamed to say this, but I kind of take pleasure into seeing them not finish well. Figuring that's karma.
Yeah.
I mean, I've hit another car. I hit another car at AMP a couple of years ago, and I walked down there. It's like, sorry, guys. I ran out of talent and room at the same time.
It's unfortunate, but it happens to all of us.
Yeah, exactly.
Our talent and our room don't add up.
And I run, like I said, I have a very short supply of talent, so I run out of it often.
So Ludicrous Speed in the lead of the race now, up about 8.5 seconds over Rusty Nuts Racing. As we get, let's see, just over, it's after 11:15 local time, 5 hours and almost 15 minutes remaining in the race today. Bavarian Mustache Works heads into the pits. It's like the 32 and the 26 spun. That's not good for Premium Dudes. More trouble for them this weekend.
Well, it looks like they dodged the bullet there.
Oh, yeah. Looks like the 32 and the 2016 and turn 12. 216 spun in front of the 32, barely missing, and then spinning. Barely missing the spinning car. So 32 avoided the accident.
216 was the just don't suck at racing car.
Right. 32, of course, Premium Dudes.
Yeah.
Which
down in 12th.
Andrew Johnson, one of those team owners, which I got to race with again at here in Fort Wayne at Bearfield Raceway for the Grocery Getter, Classic. Yeah, we got that awesome grocery cart trophy.
I gotta see that.
Oh my gosh, I left it at the track.
Did you really?
Yeah, they didn't want it.
The team didn't want it?
The team didn't want it.
Yeah, that's hard to build a shelf for. Even the Champ Car trophies are hard to build shelf for. Those things are heavy.
Yeah.
They are. But I took the third place trophy. It's a behemoth. It's as tall as I am. It's gigantic.
What?
Behemoth.
It's huge.
It's big.
It's got huge gnashing teeth. Oh, wait.
So our sponsor this weekend for this race, Frozen Rotors.
Hey, so our buddy from Low Tide is over on Facebook.
Hey guys.
Okay.
Mike said there's plenty of chairs in the HR department for Monday, so be careful what you say.
He's not listening. We're safe.
We're trying to talk good things here. We keep getting interrupted.
Yeah, but you don't have a monitor on, do you?
Of course I do.
Oh, great.
We're in trouble now.
Oh, man.
We have to monitor that new guy, Oh,
I see. So, Low Tide Motorsports, Sam Miner has joined us on our Facebook feed. Congratulations, Sam. He was part of a championship winning team out at Sonoma for the SCCA Nationals.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yep, and I interviewed Sam. You can find that interview over on our YouTube channel, ChampCar.live. It's also floating around in our Facebook pages too.
What was really cool, I didn't have a chance to watch it, but I saw it posted on Facebook just before we went live. But that team and the driver gave him a shout out from the winner's podium, which is pretty cool.
Wow.
He Low Tide Performance, wrong lips, provided support. Not only, and far as support, they towed the car out there from the East Coast out to Sonoma.
Wow.
And Troy Ermish, another one of our Champ Car racers with Uncommon Friends, won the national championship in SCCA this weekend. Congratulations, Troy, and their camp. Job well done. They had a pretty challenging weekend. Actually, the car was wrecked during qualifying. They took the car off track, off site, fixed it, brought it back, qualified again, got the car up at the front, and won the race to win the championship.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, I mean, that's a stout team, the Uncommon Friends team. I mean, you got John Morton, Troy, like you said, Steve Nichols,
I don't think they were involved in this. This was a Troy Ermish effort. But
I mean,
that team
just
is
talking
stout.
about their Champ Car team.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're going to be at the Fontana race here in the middle of November with us.
Yeah, I think last time I looked, we were up to 31 entries there?
Yeah, we still got a ways to go, but
we're
still 3 weeks before the race. There's still plenty of spots to open left to race, and to get into that race, you can head over to our website. It's ChampCar.org.
There's a couple of spots left open, and I think all of our races, except for Laguna Seca, it's probably sold out by now.
Got a report that car 107 in the pits, along with the car number 400, which is FB Racing. 107 heading behind the wall.
Oh, no, that's the Hyundai.
Yeah, no brakes racing.
I wonder what their problem is.
Maybe they ran out of brakes.
Yeah, I'm afraid to name my team something like that. I mean, if I'm going
Somebody
to pick
might
a
get
name,
in
I'm going to
and-
pick like Ludicrous Speed, I get Dead Pedal Racing,
I like crowd control. I think that's...
for a Mustang, that's perfect.
That was great.
There's still my favorite team's name is Occam's Racer. That cracks me up.
What is it?
Occam's Racer.
What does that even mean?
You'd have to look it up.
Oh, okay.
It's nothing dirty or anything like that. It's a scientific theory. Sorry. It's a scientific theory.
Okay.
Well, let's talk about some of these other teams right now as we go through Race Hero. You can see Ergo Lab is in 16th spot right now. Hold on a minute. Get some background noise. Sorry about that. All right, so it's Ergo Lab in 16th spot. Looney Tunes is in 15th now. They were leading earlier. Stinky Rap Trap, the team that finished that was in impound yesterday with us after the race.
Yeah, finished sixth in yesterday's race.
Yeah, they're in 13th. Motor Crap, they've had a rough day with some excursions off track. They're in P20 today. Dead Pedal Racing in 21st. What else we got here? Gorilla Sticker, TPS. Two Brothers Racing in 30th right now. And there's the Asteri Motorsports team. They're turning laps again in 32nd spot. Cremasters in 33rd, and they just turned their fastest lap. Black Pearl Racing in 41st. Ding Dang's back out there. They're in 45th spot. James Bondo's out there turning laps too. They had an off yesterday, did some damage to that car. Got her back out there.
It's that TR7.
Yeah. Tuna No Crust, Landshark, another team that was did really well yesterday, back in 52nd. Not the kind of day they were hoping for.
Anderson Motorsports is well down there. They were running up close to the top 10 earlier.
Yeah.
Don't know what happened to them.
They were doing well yesterday, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they. I think they were our EC winner yesterday.
Team Milan, again, in the paddock working on that car. A different issue today than yesterday, but yesterday it was electrical. Today it's mechanical with an axle issue. So that's a quick snapshot of where things are right now as we're heading up to 5 hours remaining in this 8-hour race. Back out on the track with Looney Tunes Racing.
Just looks so beautiful out there.
It's going to look just like that amp next weekend. I swear. Except it's a 50% chance of rain.
I accidentally said it's going to snow at AMP, and Mike about hit me. So Paul or Doc, you almost had your wish.
That's probably my best chance of getting you punched out is with Mike.
Probably.
So some of the cars that are in the pits right now. That's number 200. That's the Skidmark Racing. Number 7, Spartan Racing. Let's see, the 290 car. That's the B&P D Racing, I believe is the name of that team.
Rodney Earwood just joined us over on Facebook. Rodney's building up his second CMW, and it looks to be pretty complete. He drove it out to some big Z-Fest meeting, I think it's called.
I think that's the first one just fixed.
No.
The second one's not done yet.
Yeah, no, he's had the second out.
Oh, okay.
I don't think he made it out on track. He went to the event in it.
Gotcha.
But yeah, no, this is a new build.
Okay, turn 11 reports. The number 811, smoking. And the corner worker thinks it's going to run out of smoke soon. That's the TCB Motorsports car.
That's funny.
I like it when the corner workers have, humor.
Yeah, exactly. The guy's probably just now thawing out from yesterday.
Right.
It's going to run out of smoke soon.
What car did you say that was, Polly?
That is the 811 car.
Okay.
Yeah. Car 242 also reporting having spun and gone back on track. I don't have them on my list, but the 811 car is TCB Motorsports.
TCB.
They ran pretty good at one point yesterday. Seems to me I recall them on my lap charts. So what does Rodney say? He says 2.0 will be ready for Road Atlanta. Cool. Is that a left-hand drive car, Rodney? Because his last, the ZMW 1.0 was a right-hand drive car.
We need a little sound that sounds like typing.
That's Bill drumming his fingers. Upset that Mike won't let him out on the pit row. Just kidding.
Gotta feel amazing out there compared to yesterday.
So this is JSK, still turning laps out here. JSK up in P8 right now.
Yeah, Rodney confirmed it is going to be left-hand drive, and it's going to have a roof.
You don't have to have a roof.
Go ahead, somebody.
But it does help. It does help. It helps.
Especially when it's raining.
I could barely fit in my dad's Z. I just, with the helmet on and everything, it was, my helmet was on the roll bar.
Well, you're a pretty tall guy, Paulie. What are you, 6'3", 6'4"?
No.
7.5. Yeah.
No. I do have this picture though. I went and met Scott Hamilton at a gala a couple weeks back with my wife. We were over there in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and Scott Hamilton is, of course, the Olympic skater who won gold in Sarajevo back in the 80s.
He's like 5'2", though.
He's even shorter than my wife, yeah. So it was an interesting picture with me standing next to him. And then, great guy. I was just really gobsmacked. I mean, the guy is just amazing. So it was great meeting Scott and getting a picture with him.
Denny Morgan, who's working pit out today, he has a picture of his son Patrick, who now works for one of those what do you call those auction places as a photographer. He has a picture of him with Mario Andretti, and Patrick is pretty darn tall. He's probably 6'4", and Mario's a little guy.
Yeah,
and it's pretty funny. Looks like this little kid standing with Patrick.
Well, I did a lot of work for the NBA at one time, and we have a picture somewhere. I haven't seen it in years, but it's Shaquille O'Neal with his hand on the top of my head, and his little finger and his thumb are touching both my ears.
Oh my goodness!
How'd you get that picture?
I did a lot of work for the NBA, and I was wearing an LSU shirt one day, and he saw me, and he's like, "Oh, is LSU your team?" I used to play for LSU. It's like, no kidding. Of course I know this. Probably the second most famous player out of LSU, only behind Pete Maravich. But anyway, he's a great guy, a very gentle giant, as it were. But I worked with I did a big event during the Olympics for Turner Broadcasting, and one of my lighting positions, I projected all these logos and everything on the side of their building, and to access them on the roof, I had to go through the NBA the Dream Team's hospitality suite. So I got to see those guys quite often. I would stay in the same hotel with them. So
looks like the Dirt E30 being reported being pushed in the pits. The crew's pushing it. I guess it's stalled.
Shouldn't
at
it
pit
be
end.
pushed by like a four-wheeler if it's a dirt car?
They're
Like
going for that
a tow
30,
truck
30
with a
thing.
a tow truck with a piece of plywood bolted to the front bumper. Isn't that what they usually use?
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of times you see those four-wheelers and stuff pushing to the sprint cars.
Yep.
So Rodney Earwood said, 8 hours of pouring rain at the VIR 24. I learned I wanted a roof.
That'll do it.
I bet. I can't imagine that. If you don't want an open car, I'll get into an Indy car, right?
does not sound pleasant.
No. Rain's not all that great on a motorcycle, but I can't imagine sitting in a puddle of water.
Right.
All right, so we'll go ahead and take our break. Grab something to eat here.
I know, I'm getting a little peckish. I didn't eat at all yesterday.
Once I find it, there it is. All right, so we'll take a quick break and we'll be back here in just a few minutes, folks. Stay with us. Frozen rotors from Diversified Cryogenics deliver increased performance and a higher level of safety while significantly reducing braking system costs. Our proprietary 60-hour cryogenic process permanently and dramatically improves the usage life and stability of brake rotors, creating a distinct advantage in tensile strength, abrasive wear resistance, and rotor longevity. Frozen rotors, it's the cost-saving solution for better braking performance.
Our market-leading product is a Novec based. It's a 3M Novec fire suppressant. And what really makes us special is the delivery system. This new 8865 3620 system puts that Novec, two separate systems, puts Novec in the cockpit, Novec in the engine bay in less than a second, immediately engulfing the area with a fire extinguishant. So by flooding the area that quickly, we're able to actually put out fires, save equipment, save our drivers. Obviously, that's the most important part.
Discovery Parts is a veteran-owned racing and safety equipment company located inside Atlanta Motorsports Park in Dawsonville, Georgia. We take pride in being a reseller of the best of the industry to Champ Car teams and drivers. We know racing, love racing, and look forward to tomorrow to even more racing. Visit us at discoveryparts.com.
Somebody that gets hot?
Cool Shirt's personal cooling systems are designed to keep you cool and safe in hot environments. The football shirt is worn under the shoulder pads for total player comfort. For race car drivers, Cool Shirts offers a driving cooling system for virtually every racing application. The multi-person cooling system is designed to meet the demands of the firefighter in rehab. Cool Shirts offers a variety of designs for anyone who gets hot.
Cool Shirt, the worldwide leader in personal cooling systems. Race your phone and become a winner.
Champ Car Endurance Series is sponsored by RVA Graphics and Wraps, a custom graphics shop that specializes in the design and production of the best quality made-to-order vehicle graphics. And by Lifeline. Lifeline uses the latest technology in motorsport fire suppression and extinguishing and is the leader of in-car fire safety systems using Novec and Triple F foam. And Willwood Disc Brakes. Willwood Engineering is a global leader and manufacturer of high-performance, original equipment disc brake solutions. And Cool Shirt Systems. Cool Shirt's personal cooling systems, vests, and garments offer comfort, safety, mobility, and durability when performance matters. And Maxxis Tires. Maxxis Tires International is committed to delivering high-performance, affordable tires to the world. And Frozen Rotors. Premium cryogenically treated brake pads and brake rotors by Diversified Cryogenics. And OMP Sport, one of the world's leading manufacturers of safety equipment and tuning accessories. And by Racing Radios, the leader in racing communications worldwide, providing quality and affordable communication systems for racers and fans alike. And DiscoveryParts.com, offering the best in auto safety racing apparel. So coming up next for the Champ Car Endurance Series, we're off to Atlanta Motorsports Park next weekend for an 8 and a 7. And then it's off to Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California for the Willwood Grand Prix, November 17th and 18th. That'll be on the Sports Car Roval. To find out more information and get signed up, go to www.ChampCar.org. And while we were away on break, Looney Tunes Racing came into the pits and into the paddock. They had the hood of the car up. They just repinned it, sent him back out. So still some niggling issues there we're not sure of, but they've got the car back out.
Yeah, we've had quite a few shakeups there in the bottom half of the race. Tooth Autosports briefly dropped out of the top 15. Now they're back up in 13th. Head Pedal Racing, our Maserati, is up in 14th place. And Jerry Inger's Ergo Lab car is up into 15th place.
Well, and we reported earlier that the 212 car was being pushed from pit in. It's left pits as well. And there's a spin and continue at turn 9 and 10 for the 251 car.
Anybody want to check out the car in second
Motorsports
place there?
Cone Crushers up to P2. Look at that.
And they're turning a little bit faster lap times than Ludicrous Speed, at least on the last lap, which is lap 54.
Well, and look who's in third.
How about that? Our buddy Tyler in Crank Anchors Racing.
Yeah, also newly appointed board member.
Yes.
So I'm sure Tyler's glad to see that car up there again. They did really well yesterday until they had contact with the wall. Got the car patched back up.
Nathan's car, Premium Dudes, also moved up into 10th. They've been slowly and steadily moving up. Rusty Nuts Racing must have had a problem. They're shown down and now in 11th place.
Yep, one of the cars we were following earlier, TRM Motorsports, looks like they might be, I'm seeing what looks like it's in the seat, so I'm not sure what that's about. Maybe Bill went in and grabbed it. Looks like they're offline for now. Looney Tunes waving cars by as they're clearly off the pace. JSK, the team that won yesterday, quietly working their way up into the top 10. They're currently in 7th.
Yeah, I wonder what happened to that Rusty Nuts Racing car that dropped so far. I mean, I showed it just as 10 minutes ago. They were in 3rd place. And at 11 o'clock, they were leading this race.
It's too bad we don't have that pit reporter that you keep talking about.
It's a shame. We really need to get a pit reporter.
Maybe someday.
Yeah.
Whoa, a little indecision there on the neon.
Yeah,
just
I
up
didn't
ahead.
know which side to go around on.
What's the best policy there, Doc, if you're a slower competitor, you see somebody coming up behind you?
Well, just I think every racer would agree, just hold your line. These faster cars, they'll figure out a way to get around you. I think the JSK originally looked at going on the outside, but with a right-hander coming up next, he decided to dive to the inside.
Yeah, another report of the 101 Looney Tunes in the pits again.
Wow.
So those guys just not having the day they hoped for.
No.
More issues with the Mustang. Of course, the races we have coming up next this coming weekend, we're at Atlanta Motorsports Park.
Woohoo!
And then from there, we go on to Fontana, California for the race out there at Auto Club Speedway. That's the full sports car Roval course.
And then when most racing has died down in December, we ramp things up.
Absolutely, heading to VIR and Sebring in December,
along with Barber and Laguna Seca.
Lots of exciting racing remaining this year. It's always fun to finish strong like that. So just don't. I mean, we just always have these tracks. They're all exciting. They're all fun.
Oh yeah, and then we start the 2019 season almost right away. We get a month off, and then we hit our annual race at Road Atlanta,
which is always a big hit.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We're gonna have to see out every year.
It's dropped off a little bit lately, but yeah, it's a pretty full field. It's always over 90 cars. We've had as many as 100 and something out there, which got a little popular. Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll have to see what effect the Road Atlanta just this past week announced a major sponsorship with Michelin tires, and they had a picture up there. They're going to completely reconstruct a brand new timing, scoring, and media tower. The thing looks impressive.
Awesome. They're building us a new office, right?
Yeah. I'm going to miss my old corner office there, though. That was nice calling the race from there last year. I could look straight down pit row, but I could also turn to my right and look up to the bridge in turn 12. And of course, turn 12 is always very exciting.
Yeah, very busy.
Yeah, very busy.
Lots of pucker power through that one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Tiffany, you were speaking yesterday, being a racing driver instructor, about the way that you had to be careful in those wet weather conditions and drive smooth. Now, this may sound like a kind of an obvious question or obvious answered question, but in your book, what do you see as smooth driving? I mean, what does that really mean? When you're watching a student, what are you looking for when it comes to being smooth?
Okay, so being smooth and being the inputs in the car, mainly with your hands and your feet, so that you're turning in smoothly, unwinding the steering wheel smoothly, not just yanking things in unless that's actually what you need, but they're not starting out there usually. And then especially like in the wet and stuff, stiffer cars, not your standard daily driver cars, you want to be smooth on those throttle inputs, smooth on the brakes, not, jumping on those one way or the other, coming off of them onto them smoothly. That'll make the car a lot more settled, and then you can have a lot of fun. And if you can drive smooth, if you start off a little slower, which is how everybody starts off, then if it's nice and smooth, then you can pick up the pace and you're not going to have to rearrange your driving style.
Okay, so you start off, you're going to be, if you're just getting started racing, you're gonna concentrate on being smooth with your inputs. You may be a little slower than everybody else, but you're saying that as you do get faster out there, that should carry on. As you go faster and faster, you should, you're sort of like learning a habit in the beginning and then carrying that forward as you become more proficient.
Yes. You want to, you want to be smooth, and then you want to be consistent. So, we're looking for students to, at first sometimes your lap times are all over the place and your line's different every time, but you're looking to kind of bring that in and be able to consistently, smoothly do that each time. Obviously, in racing, you go where you can, but that you can be consistent. You see these guys work through traffic. A lot of these guys on the track now with Champ Car are just phenomenal drivers. And they're working their way through traffic. They're going where they can, but they're still maintaining really consistent lap times. And you see a lot of teams really benefit from having several drivers who can all drive kind of at the same pace, and maintain that consistency regardless of traffic and things like that. So smooth and consistent.
Yeah, I mean, you hear a lot of the pro drivers talk about, or the announcers talk about having slow hands.
Right. I mean, sometimes you need fast hands, but you don't want to overcorrect. Then you made the problem worse, whatever you're trying to correct. So you want them to be, not faster than your car is moving.
Wow, our leader is in the pits.
Oh, it's not time for them to be in the pit.
No, it's not near time enough.
That's interesting.
Well, they kind of pitted a little bit early.
Yeah.
Earlier too. It was a little unusual.
This is way early.
So they pitted at like 10:15, I think, somewhere right around there, and then now
they pitted at 10:20. Yep.
So
this is just over an hour and 20 minutes. That's way too early.
You wouldn't imagine they would be using that much fuel.
Guess who that's going to put in the lead?
That's Doc's prediction.
Oh yeah, watch out! Here comes Cone Crushers. They were right behind Ludacris that last lap through anyway.
Yeah, not bad for the FNG, huh?
Oh jeez, now I got to live with this guy too. I got two big heads I got to deal with. Somebody save us, Tiffany.
I know.
Nope, you're beyond saving now, baby.
There's Premium Dudes just up ahead. Have I talked about the win that I had at Brainerd in the Premium Dudes car?
I believe you did mention that.
While this is going down the toilet, let's continue.
Well, we're at chest puffing contest where I'm going here.
Yeah. And people thought the broadcast couldn't get any worse.
Yep, here we go.
They shouldn't
down into one of the very slow corner. Obviously, Premium Dudes hanging on to the outside there. Look at that through a very tight part of the racetrack. JSKA giving room as they head down through Kettle Bottoms here. And that Nissan Maxima. I shouldn't say win that I have in the Premium Dudes car. That was a we win for sure. That was a team win. But it was a privilege to race with them. Oh, yeah, there it is.
This guy's making me look good. Yeah. Which is a tall feat, by the way.
It was looking good for them yesterday because we had seen how far back they started in the running and knew that would be flipped today. And, of course, they would have their dry weather. So we were thinking good things for them. Ludacris down to second, still shown in the pits.
We haven't talked about him very much today, but Crash Management's having a great run in that Dodge Stratus, shown in fourth place right now.
Good for those guys. The crew at pit out.
Clueless Racing is also having a nice run. They're down in 7th place. That's a Acura Integra.
Go Honda Power.
The BAR team, the British American Racing by Hawk, they're running in 9th place. Dirt Guys has finally moved up to 15th place. They finished 11th yesterday, so they're looking to improve their position.
Got a message that the Dirt E30 teams reported stuck in the sand trap at turn 8, which is at the bottom of Hurry Downs there. Car 251 off track 2 may have a broken suspension.
That's the Car Fab Motorsports.
And the car 130 being black flagged. Well, it's a meatball. Being meatballed for a hood pin missing on the left side. Hood's lifting up. So they'll be brought in. Hopefully they can stick something in that pin to keep it held down. Seems like almost everybody's got, somebody's got a hood pin in the top of their toolbox drawer. They have one sitting around they can give you. That happened to me at Daytona this year. Broke both the hood pins. On board with JSK Racing, that Nissan Maxima that won here yesterday in P6. Down about a lap from the leader right now. So it's Cone Crushers, Crank Yankers Racing in second, Crash Management in third, Ludicrous Speed in fourth, Third Gear Pulls in fifth, JSK in sixth, Clueless Racing in seventh, Bavarian Mustache Works in eighth, British American Racing by Hawk in ninth, and Premium Dudes in 10th. A little bit of protest from the tires there, heading into turn 14 for that run up the straightaway. Get it straight here. Sorry about that. .59 laps complete here. Heading up to the noon hour. The halfway point of the race.
No.
Wow.
Now, halfway will be at 12:30.
Well, yeah, that's what I meant. I'm sorry.
Okay.
We are I said noon, and it's actually 12:30. Thank you. Yeah. 12:30 is
starting
the
on a
halfway.
half hour instead of an hour.
Yep.
Yeah, that's been throwing me off all day.
Right.
We did get a report earlier that the 311 car spun and continued. That's the TPS Motorsports team and their Volkswagen Golf GT, GTI. Nearly 60 teams signed up for next weekend's race at AMP, Atlanta Motorsports Park. Randy Popst is planning on being there with his Volvo, the Happy Moose team.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
He's so nice. He gave me a ride at Daytona. My whole team and everybody left me.
Oh,
no.
They left to go get beer and food because the car broke or something. I don't remember the story. But
You were
two different
left.
teams. I'm like walking around the track going, where are you guys? And they said we're drinking beer. And I thought they were kidding. Like,
like we're eating ice cream.
right.
Yeah.
And they had left the track entirely and were at some bar. And
Wow.
How in the world did they forget about you? That's what I want to know.
apparently they didn't. They just figured that I could catch a ride if I needed to or something. Maybe they did forget about me. I don't know. I was
The true
pretty
story is
impressed with
yet
that
to come
logic.
out.
So Randy actually was going to, and so he gave me a ride over there. And I was like, okay, nice to meet you.
He's about the most approachable guy around.
Super nice. We loaded his car and off we went. It was interesting, to say the least.
Crazy stories.
Yeah.
Ludicrous Speed tumbling down to 8th, guys. It doesn't look good for the MR2.
No, but they're back out on track now, at least.
Yep. Looks like they've yet to come across. They crossed the pit loop at least. They've got a 7:42 in that last lap. So we'll see. Now there was a 9:76. So some confusing numbers coming back from Race Hero.
No, I've got the 7:42.
Okay, I've got a 9. Oh, okay, excuse me. I'm not looking at the column right. think I'm getting tired. I wonder why.
You're looking at the gap, maybe.
Yeah, I'm looking at the gap.
Cone crushers and crank anchors basically turning about the same lap times. Cone crushers last lap was a 2:55.38, and crank anchors was a 2:55.71. We'll have to see what the gap is.
Bavarian Mustache Works just goes green with a 2:52 that last time through. Well, if you're interested in learning a little bit more about how to set up your race car, you can head over to the ChampCar YouTube page. That's ChampCar.live. Or if you're a Facebook user, you can pick it up on our the ChampCar Garage. It's Race Tech with Drew Knabb. Of course, if you see it on our YouTube channel, you can get it in 1080, put it up on the big TV. But Drew Knabb goes through a series of 6 videos describing various parts of the car and how to set them up for, well, give you lots of options at least, so you understand a little bit more about what you're doing.
Maybe.
Those 6 videos, yeah, there's 6 videos titled Shocks and Struts, Suspension and Geometry, Wheels and Tires, Hubs, Bearings and Bushings, Suspension Bars and Springs, and Steering and Alignment. And that's just the first 6 of a series of videos we're going to continue to produce and make available to you.
There's more stuff you have to learn?
Yeah, there's more you got to learn, Doc.
Oh, man.
We haven't touched on brakes. We haven't. There's so many things to talk about.
Wow.
But you can get caught up on those videos again over on our YouTube channel, ChampCar.live. Also, keep note of the interviews that Doc and I have been doing live with some of you folks out there, teams, drivers, owners.
Yeah, they're relatively short. They're fairly painless to sit through.
Yeah, we just sit down shortly with these guys and just find out how their builds are coming, how their car's doing, how their weekend's going to look. Wednesday, we spoke with Jeff Christensen of Team Milan.
That might have been the kiss of death. It might be the last time he speaks to us.
Oh, don't say that.
They have not had a
we
good
want
weekend.
people to talk to us. Yeah. Yeah,
I'm
we
sure
spoke
that was
with,
just a fluke.
And we spoke with your friend at Running Bulls Racing.
Yeah, Michael.
Yeah.
There's a great guy. I really admire him. Him and his wife take care of 11 foster children.
Awesome.
11.
11.
11.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Car 510 and Car 19 both reported in the pits. Car 19 is the F-Bar Racing.
It looks like Tooth is pitted again. Car number 510 out of 14th place. Oop, 12:01. I got to dip my head in my lap charts.
Okay. All right. Yep, we'll take a break here, folks, and be back shortly. Stay with us. Frozen rotors from Diversified Cryogenics deliver increased performance and a higher level of safety while significantly reducing braking system costs. Our proprietary 60-hour cryogenic process permanently and dramatically improves the usage life and stability of brake rotors, creating a distinct advantage in tensile strength, abrasive wear resistance, and rotor longevity. Frozen rotors, it's the cost-saving solution for better braking performance.
Our market-leading product is a Novec-based. It's a 3M Novec fire suppressant. And what really makes us special is the delivery system. This new 8865 3620 system puts that Novec, two separate systems, puts Novec in the cockpit, Novec in the engine bay in less than a second, immediately engulfing the area with a fire extinguishant. So by flooding the area that quickly, we're able to actually put out fires, save equipment, save our drivers. Obviously, that's the most important part.
Discovery Parts is a veteran-owned racing and safety equipment company located inside Atlanta Motorsports Park in Dawsonville, Georgia. We take pride in being a reseller of the best of the industry to Champ Car teams and drivers. We know racing, love racing, and look forward to tomorrow to even more racing. Visit us at discoveryparts.com.
You know somebody that gets hot?
Cool Shirt's personal cooling systems are designed to keep you cool and safe in hot environments. The football shirt is worn under the shoulder pads for total player comfort. For race car drivers, Cool Shirts offers a driving cooling system for virtually every racing application. The multi-person cooling system is designed to meet the demands of the firefighter in rehab. Cool Shirts offers a variety of designs for anyone who gets hot.
Cool Shirt, the worldwide leader in personal cooling systems. Race your phone and become a winner.
Champ Car Endurance Series is sponsored by RVA Graphics and Wraps, a custom graphics shop that specializes in the design and production of the best quality made-to-order vehicle graphics. And by Lifeline. Lifeline uses the latest technology in motorsport fire suppression and extinguishing and is the leader of in-car fire safety systems using Novec and Triple F foam. And Willwood Disc Brakes. Willwood Engineering is a global leader and manufacturer of high-performance, original equipment disc brake solutions. And Cool Shirt Systems. Cool Shirt's personal cooling systems, vests, and garments offer comfort, safety, mobility, and durability when performance matters. And Maxxis Tires. Maxxis Tires International is committed to delivering high-performance, affordable tires to the world. And Frozen Rotors. Premium cryogenically treated brake pads and brake rotors by Diversified Cryogenics. And OMP Sport, one of the world's leading manufacturers of safety equipment and tuning accessories. And by Racing Radios, the leader in racing communications worldwide, providing quality and affordable communication systems for racers and fans alike. And DiscoveryParts.com, offering the best in auto safety racing apparel. So coming up next for the Champ Car Endurance Series, we're off to Atlanta Motorsports Park next weekend for an 8 and a 7. And then it's off to Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California for the Willwood Grand Prix, November 17th and 18th. That'll be on the Sports Car Roval. To find out more information and get signed up, go to www.ChampCar.org. Still spots available out there for both of those events. Looney Tunes back in the pits, just repeatedly having trouble. Man, this race has really turned around for those guys. You know, they were looking so good earlier today.
Yeah.
And they could just barely keep that car out on the racetrack now for some reason.
It's got to be frustrating.
He's just telling them, yeah, we didn't take fuel, so heading back out, turning this probably more into a test day, Tiffany, just to get this thing shook out so it's ready for the next race.
Right.
Although this may be it for them for the year, still it's good track time for them to make sure the car's all right.
Do you know where they're out of? based out of?
Looney Tunes?
Yeah.
They're based out of Fort Worth, Texas.
Fort Worth, Texas. Okay.
That's the city where they say the West begins. And the old joke used to be it kind of gets off to a lousy start. I'm kidding. Fort Worth's a very nice town. That just used to be a joke we used to use in a show I used to do.
Car 130 being black flagged for missing a hood pin. We've had a number of those concerns today. Cars missing a hood pin being black flagged as a result.
Yeah, there have been several of those. It's kind of weird.
Car 251 off track, may have a broken suspension, is the message coming from the CarFab Motorsports.
We got a report on Race Hero that Clueless Racing, running in 7th, is pitted.
And Ludacris also back in the pits from P8. Crash management in the pits too.
I wonder if something's going on with that car. I mean, it's got to be, right? The
Yeah,
car.
it would have to be. You would think. We talked about them a little bit earlier. Surprised that they came in when they did, because it would not. You wouldn't think it'd be scheduled with the fuel that they had taken just earlier. And with that, Cone Crushers took over the race lead. We've got Crank Anchors in second right now. Lap times are pretty similar. Going to be difficult for Crank Anchors to catch. What they really need to do is just run their own race at this point.
Last time I looked, they were 2 minutes 6 seconds back.
The Crank Anchors on Cone Crushers?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
JSK in 4th spot now. Those guys continuing to move up the field. Turning that 253 last time through. And interesting, the top 6 still only back 1 lap from the lead of the race. So still, these cars are very close to the front of the pack. Premium Dude's down a couple laps.
2:18, so.
Yeah, considerably slower time that time through by Crank Anchors, a 2:59. Not sure what happened there, but
I don't know if he hit traffic, probably. Something along those lines.
Maybe he hit a pylon.
Nah, I don't believe there's any pylons out there. Or I would have found them. All cones must die.
I think that's kind of how Cone Crushers came up with their name. I think those guys used to do autocross together or something along those lines, if I remember the story correctly.
Well, here you go, Nick. We've got a local yellow at a local yellow out on the track. That would explain why we might see some slower lap times there. Cone Crushers, a 256, a 259 for Crank Anchors.
232.
What?
That's Crash Management's car. It was stuck at mid-pit lane being towed up.
Oh, he didn't turn a 232. He is number 232.
No, car number 232.
Oh, yeah. Tiffany and I both went that same direction. We were both, 252, a 232. Are you kidding me? We both veered right, Doc. And
yeah, sorry.
We were both a couple of confused. Like when the puppy hears the sound and their head turns sideways, right. That was us in that moment.
That's the German Shepherd look.
Uh-huh.
What was that? Okay, back to reality. Ludacris turning laps again.
There.
But Ludacris shown back out on track in 5th. I don't know what's going on out there.
103, we're showing them with a blown engine. That's the GMW factory racing BMW.
Oh, that's too bad.
Unfortunately.
32 is also on pit lane, pit road, pit row. Choose one.
Pick one.
So let's take a look at the overall running order, and then we'll also look at the by class as well. We got Cone Crushers leading overall with Crank Anchors Racing. Then it's JSK Racing, Third Gear Pulls. In 5th, Ludacris Speed. Then Bavarian Mustache Works, British American Racing by Hawk. Premium Dudes in 8th, but also shown in the pits, along with P9, which is Crash Management. Rusty Nuts Racing in 10th. So there's your top 10 there. Now looking at by class, Class A first, sponsored by DiscoveryParts.com. It's Third Gear Pulls, Craymaster Racing, and Dire Straits Racing. B class, top 3 are Wasted Wages, Tuith Autosport, and Ergolab.com, also shown in the pits. To C class, it's Cone Crushers, Crankyankers Racing, and JSK Racing. Down to D class, Dead Pedal Racing, Dirt Guys,
Maserati,
and Motor Crap. And for EC, it's Rusty Nuts Racing, Clueless Racing, and Gorilla Sticker, also shown in the pits.
So we're getting a note from Race Control that 101's back on pit road. It's going to be far more expedient to announce when they're back on the track, it looks like. They've been in repeatedly.
And I hope they realize that turning laps by going through the pits takes a lot more time than if they would just stay out there.
They're pitting early and often.
There's one of the Mustangs leaving. And there's the 101 car back to their pit stall. Looks like they're going to take fuel. The fire extinguisher holder in place. They got their funnel.
Those funnels, folks, are going to be outlawed in 2019. Everybody's going to have to use fuel jugs. No funnels.
And Doc, what do you think is the concern there with those funnels? Have you heard anything?
Well, yeah, I mean, Tiffy and I were both part of those discussions.
Right.
And
the safety concern.
Yeah, that goes back to our annual meeting on petitions. At a lot of these tracks, now we're not going to have the problem today, but, you know, when you're getting out on these hot days, like at NCM, it was brutally hot. A lot of these teams have these huge funnels, which has a lot of surface area of gasoline, and you can see the fumes just wafting off of them. And it's the fumes that generally start a fire. It's not the liquid itself.
Right.
The other thing is with these huge funnels, the cars were getting filled up, and there was still one or, you know, even a gallon and a half of fuel in the funnel that had nowhere to go once the tank is finished, once the tank is full. So that was the concern there, and it strictly boils down to safety. It's not a time that it takes you to fill or anything like that. It's just a safety hazard with that much fumes coming off and that much unused fuel that's not going into the tank. There goes Premium Dude back out on the course.
1-5 is being meatballed for heavy smoke on turn, so he's going to be black flagged right now. The funnels, there was a team I saw at Thompson that when they filled up, they would turn, or it might have been Pitt. When they filled up the funnel and it was filled up, they would have a switch or a ball cock on the funnel, and it would completely stop it. So that tank was 100% filled, and then they were able to pull it off and dump the fuel back in.
That's a much safer way of doing things. So, but there's still the issue of the surface area fumes coming off.
Sorry, Paul, I was talking up. I had the mic up to my mouth. Sorry about that.
Right, and all those fumes, you just don't want those to light off because that's just scary for everybody.
And again, it's not the liquid fuel that normally ignites; it's the fume.